how to play sharps and flats on the piano, and why the same keys have different names. The sharps raise a note by a half step, changing its pitch on the piano. To make any note sharp, you need to move it to the right of the keyboard by one half step. Boom! All the notes in red moved up toward the black keys towards the right, and the E and B moved to the next white key towards the right as well. This means that making a note sharp doesn't mean that we have to press a black key. It means that we have to press the next half step to the right. A half step can also be called a semitone. Now, what about the flats? The flats, it's exactly the opposite of the sharp. Instead of moving to the right, we're going to move to the left. And adding a flat lowers the pitch. And this time I'm highlighting the C and F in green because they don't have a black key on their left side. If I make them flat, they go to the next white key. The other notes moved up to the left by one half step. The natural symbol in music cancels any previous sharps or flats, returning the note to its natural state. All the notes can be named differently. For example, C sharp and D flat point to the same note, and we call this an harmonic. It means two names for the same pitch. Another example is D sharp and E flat. There are enharmonics. E sharp is the same as F, and F flat is the same as E. I know it's confusing, but just to add to the confusion, we can also find double sharps and double flats. Now the question is why? Why does music theory has to be so confusing? Why can one note have multiple names? Sharps and flats are the same keys on the piano because they describe the same physical notes, but from different perspectives. Imagine you're talking with your friend and she asks you, "How are you?" You feeling good, so you're saying, "I'm good, thank you." Now the same conversation happens by text. And instead of writing, "I'm good, thank you" in plain English, you write it in phonetics. If your friend reads it out loud, assuming he knows phonetics, then he will sound exactly as if you said it. But in writing, obviously, it's different. However, if you were to throw a plain English word like thank in the middle of your phonetics text, it could confuse the reader. Now let's transfer those terms in music. If how are you represents the topic and the language represents the system and the I'm good, thank you represents the emotion, then in music, the topic is the song, the language becomes the key signature, and the emotion is the melody. So here we have this example from Sir Duke from Stevie Wonder. It's in B major, which uses 5 sharps. And that's the melody, the written melody of the first 2 bars of the brass. Now, although B is the same technically on the keyboard as a C flat, it's different because of the context. The B scale on the left side is the same as the C flat scale on the right side. However, on the paper, it's not. And this is why a note can have multiple names. If this video helped you in any way, please give it a like and subscribe.